Boydell. He's getting the sneak preview behind the scenes. For Dustin, I'm in the library with the fireplace, but I was on Canuck Clay last night, so I wanted to make sure it was, a little more relaxed because Canuck Clay, he's a little older. I don't want to take him to the bar. It might be a little too much for him. And so we had the
fair enough. Family man. He's at home and
Yeah. Kind of the same crap we saw last game, eh?
I mean, flashes, like moments where they're starting to generate some momentum and then lose a puck battle and it goes back the other way. There's a couple of good moments, and as soon as they start to generate some pressure, there's a mistake. And they're mistakes that you shouldn't be making no matter what the system, even if you're trying to learn a new system. At some point, it just becomes a lack of skill. And, I know we're going to talk about it later when we talk about the lineup and stuff in Foote's deployment and that. But, I would have loved to have seen more shakeup in the forwards. I get trying to build some chemistry, but DeBrusk has had his chance to build chemistry with Pettersson, and it just doesn't work. He was the one who lost the offensive zone puck battle right after PD wins a faceoff. They start to get some momentum, get one shot on net, puck goes to the corner, and he doesn't even look like he has a chance. Parayko comes out of there so easy with the puck. And then PD turns it back into the zone, gets a good breakout with Besser. Besser drops it back. Pettersson comes across the front, and DeBrusk has this, Pettersson got the pass through the best he could, through all the sticks, but DeBrusk has his head down and it hits him in the skates because he's not looking back for the pass or how the play's developing. He gets tunnel vision, and it's really tough. When have we ever said on any of our shows, oh, what a play by DeBrusk coming out of the corner with that puck, or what a puck battle by DeBrusk? We haven't said it since he's been here. And that's the type of person that needs to be on that line with Pettersson and Besser to be able to win a cycle and continue the cycle and keep it going and get that puck back from that moment where it's in the corner, or be aware enough to turn back and look, because those are highly skilled guys. They're going to stick handle from time to time, and you need to be watching. You can't just bury your head for the corner of the net and just be trying to play your position. You have to use some sort of feel and hockey sense. And the more I watch him, I just think he's made it as far as he has because of his name. And, he's got offensive talent. Don't get me wrong. He's a great net front presence and cleans up a lot of garbage rebounds for goals. And he does have an impressive shot. He does get it through some goalies when he has a nice clean shot coming down the wing or is on a 2-on-1. But he's too much of a passenger to be on a top line in the NHL for me. And it just makes it infinitely harder for someone who's trying to bounce back and have a breakout, who already has, pressure beaming down on him from Canuck Nation in Pettersson, right? The first period there, he throws a big hip check on Shen at center ice. A couple blocked shots. Looked like he was trying to generate a couple of offensive plays, but he can't do it alone. And he just needs more skill with him if the Canucks are going to expect him to find more of that energy and confidence that he's had in the past. And I mean, when you look at the lineup, the only person who's made to be in a top 6 role, is truly a shooter, is Lecker-Mackey. And so you need to do some line shuffling to get that kid an opportunity to be more in a top 6 shooter role. And yeah, it was a horrible deployment again, just right out of the gate. It looked like they were going to come out and get a better start, and then just a couple of, it was a quick play and a great shot by Snuggerud, but there's no response.
Who got the assist on that goal, by the way?
To be fair, it like deflected off his skate to Snuggerud, so it's an assist. Yeah, we'll give it to him.
I'm gonna say,
and that goal was basically unassisted. It's a shot that goes wide.
He did that on purpose. I'm calling it right now. That looks like he did that on purpose. That's what I'm saying. And that's the kind of
fair
thing
enough. Honestly,
but
I would.
Nobody knows but him.
We talked about it. I would have loved to have paid Suter what he wanted. Like I didn't like him leaving this team. He would have filled in the role that we need right now in that like high end 3C that can fill in a 2C if our 2C isn't playing very well. Like I'd much rather see Pius Suter right now on the second line than Hedl with his turnovers and give Hedl a chance to prove that he can play at both ends of the ice.
Yeah.
There's just a lot that's happening that's a bit frustrating, but we have what we have. And tonight, I mean, at least we have 8 shots on goal. We did, start to generate a couple of shots. We just need to get more of those high danger chances. And man, I'd love to see someone with just a little more offensive awareness up there with Petey and Besser.
I think I was on the exact same page as you, right? Like we've both said this, like Besser and DeBrusk are essentially the same player, right? That one's left wing, one's right wing, but they play a very similar game. Now, the difference that I saw was in the preseason, DeBrusk looks like he had jumped up a little bit and looked like he had been doing a better job of using his feet to move through the zone and stuff. But I have not seen that same hustle once he's been playing against NHL level caliber players, right? So that's my concern is that, yeah, maybe he can do that kind of thing and look fast against AHL players, but maybe that's not something he's going to be able to do when it comes to playing against full NHL players.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The only up I'll give to the Canucks is the one stat here, which is the face-off stat. They did somehow manage to win 7 of 12 through that. I didn't think Hedl looked great on it, but he did win a couple by the time they hit the second half of that period. 58.3%. So at least they did improve in that compared to what they were doing against the Oilers the last game. So I'll give them a slight up for that, shall we?
For sure, yeah. Yeah, and as much as I've defended them, that like after 10 games, if we don't see an improvement, I mean, the Canucks are going to have to do something to either. I mean, you shouldn't have to help him anymore, but we got to see more out of Pettersson, right? Like it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, 10 games. That's all he's got.
I was watching him very closely because I have been somebody who's predicted he hits 100 points this year. He's not playing like a 100-point player. In that first period, he did not look great. He looked a little bit lost out there, so maybe he is having a bit of a hard time getting into the new system, but he does not look like a man who's going to drive play out there right now.
No, and I mean, it doesn't help when you have 2 wingers that aren't really play drivers either. So it's like, that's where it's like they're handcuffed in the top 6 for skill. Mm-hmm. And when you have Connor Garland playing in the top 6 and Evander Kane playing in the top 6, like we really we say we're thin at center. We're pretty thin at wing too when it comes to actual scoring talent, and especially when, I mean, you could say Lekkerimäki doesn't have the body or strength yet for as an NHLer. It's like, well, then he shouldn't be playing a third line grinder role. He should be in the second line, getting those opportunities, taking the more of the pressure off the top line, because if the second line is more dangerous with some speed and skill and shooting offense, it will open up more space for maybe Pettersson, Besser, and DeBrusk. And DeBrusk isn't used to playing against top defense pairings, and so that's harder too. So, that whole line, Besser's got 2 goals, but last game he didn't really play great either. He got kind of a lucky deflection and he buried it in. He's a goal scorer, so he found the corner, right? And so that whole top 6 needs to show more. Yes, the weight is on Pettersson's shoulders, but he's got the big contract and everyone needs him to bounce back, and for him to prove that he's got to put his money where his mouth is, right? He said he's out for revenge, wants to be better and wants to lead this team. Well, everyone else has to do it too. You can't just be on him. So we're in a tough spot.
I've been watching his wife's YouTube channel, and maybe she's making him too many Swedish pancakes. That might be the problem.
Maybe we know how he put the weight on.
It's all muffins and cinnamon rolls. Yeah. Next topic. Well, something positive. Harder for Hughes to be happy about right now with the way the team's playing, but he has now officially passed Alexander Edler, who's the highest scoring player in the defenseman in the history of the Vancouver Canucks, doing it about half the time that Edler took to do it. What does that mean for Hughes moving forward, and what does that mean for this team?
I mean, we all knew it anyways that Hughes was the best defenseman this team has ever seen. I mean, it doesn't really mean much. Those personal type of team records, they come and go. I mean, some other defensemen may come in 20 years if the NHL's still a thing in 50 years or 100 years, right? Like those records are going to be broken consistently. And that record would have been someone else, right? Like, or maybe could have been Luke Bourdon. And so it's great and all, but I doubt Quinn really cares. For him, it's about winning and getting back to the playoffs. And I mean, it's a great accomplishment. But when you're chasing down Alex Edler, I mean, it wasn't like it was going to take him long. Two very different skill sets and makeups in player there.
Yeah, it would have been quicker too if they would have put him on the PP1 to start, not have Edler drag along there.
Yeah, exactly.
Digging up old cans of worms there. Foote's timing. So we talked a lot in the post-game show last game about the timing of his deployment, his lines in general as well. I'm going to bring this up right now. So this is the timing so far tonight. Hedl is your high minute man for the forwards at just under 7 minutes, right? So you're essentially seeing Hedl, Garland, Kane, same as last game, being used as the top line for the Vancouver Canucks. The high minute man for the defenseman is Hughes. He is at 9 minutes and 8 seconds. He is on pace to play almost 30 minutes tonight in a game that's 1-0.
Yeesh.
Is this bench being run by Foote, or is this bench being run by Quinn Hughes?
Well, I mean, we made that question in the offseason, right? When they made a snap decision to hire somebody who wasn't even on anybody's radar. Personally was approached by management to do an interview. It's tough, right? Like, I'm trying to be open-minded. I liked a lot of what I saw in the preseason, but we're kind of yet to see it now in the regular season. And it's like, well, you don't have to just completely change the way you were playing because you went from preseason to regular season. And if you were playing better in the preseason with different lineups, then you need to go back and look at which lineups were working and the makeups of those lines. And, for me, Besser and DeBrusk can't be on the same wings together. Like, can't be on the same line. They're too similar. And you just kind of got to break down skill sets, right? Like, you need somebody that's going to go into the corners and dig out the puck, or somebody who you can have one passenger on a line, but you can't have two. And you got to match that sort of stuff up. You need someone who's a natural born shooter, shouldn't be playing the third line. And he's young. He's trying to earn his spot in the NHL. Put him with Elias Pettersson. Give him a little energy. Give Petey a little energy, right? Putting Lekkerimäki with the 18-year-old isn't fair to either of those guys. You're putting a lot of weight on Coots' shoulders. Lekkerimäki is trying his best to prove that he belongs here and is playing decent in what he's been asked to do. He's playing well at both ends of the ice, but everyone's waiting for him to break out offensively. Well, that's tough to do when you're playing 12 minutes a night and you're not being put in situations to score. You're not being used on power play 1, which is where he should be. There's a number of issues, right? And it's a very inexperienced staff. that's going to have to take a hard look at how they rebound. And that's one thing that's always been a positive for me with watching Malhotra and the Abbotsford Canucks so closely last year was his ability to adjust overnight in a series. We saw it this weekend with the Henderson Silver Knights. The first night, the Abbey Canucks came out really flat. Second night, 17 shots in the first period. Yes, they were down 1-0 because of an unfortunate broken play, but controlled the narrative and played their game. And, it's just minor tweaks here or there. We saw it throughout the Calder playoffs until he got to the finals where the lineup was pretty much set. But throughout the entire playoffs, 2 guys minimum were coming in and out of the lineup every night, like every game. And that is a testament to structure and being able to adapt to a team on the fly. And Foote talks about adapting to the team they're playing against. Well, sometimes that means shuffling your lineup and having guys play with different people. I really like the makeup of the 6 defensemen tonight, but you need to have a little more trust in those young guys. I mean, you coached them last year. You know who they are. You know their game. You should be able to trust what they've been doing. I mean, Mancini showed me enough in the preseason that he deserves to be in the NHL and is perfectly capable and competent on the penalty kill. You never know until you give these kids a shot. And if you're not using them in their right skill set and you're just kind of shuffling them around the lineup or putting them where they don't really belong or aren't going to be put in their best situation to succeed, you're going to get this weird, disconnected lack of chemistry hockey that we've kind of seen the last 2 nights.
Tyler Myers is fine. Well, he got fined. $2,500 for a shot to the nuts of Connor McDavid. Did the league get that one right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's as much as it's an accident, or Myers wants to say it is, he did hit him. It's a penalty, and it should have been dealt with in the game. Maybe as a 2-minute, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna save Sammy Blade for the.
It's a good find to take, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Good enough, right? We'll save the Sammy Blade news for the post-game show. But the second period's underway, so we'll talk to you then, brother.
Sounds good.
Nothing is perfect.